women showed up.
Listen, to the men who keep putting this on my goddamn time feed, I need y'all to stop. Y'all pushing a narrative that isn't true. I'm not willing to go along with the narrative that black men aren't looking into black women anymore. Like, that's the narrative that I'm seeing every time I keep seeing black men, these red pill content men post this. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Whoever set up this event just didn't organize it right, or something happened in the men in that particular area. I don't know, there's some type of miscommunication, but y'all not going to be pushing this narrative that black men aren't looking into black women anymore because of what y'all seeing on social media. I don't understand what y'all doing with this. I'm not getting with this program. I'm not posting it. Y'all crazy. I don't know what's going on with y'all, but that's not the narrative.
We recently came across a video of a woman complaining how at a singles mixers event, only women showed up. And this was organized by black women to meet black men. What these women might not have understood was, why would a man pay money to go to an event and get clowned on when he can go to the grocery store, gas station, laundromat, or the post office and get the same treatment for free while running his errands and staying on schedule? Peace comes from a man not only not having someone at home waiting to argue with him, but it also comes from knowing that he has options. As long as you're on your purpose, where there's one woman who finds you repulsive, the younger, hotter woman behind her finds you refreshing. Modern women are having a meltdown knowing that men are deliberately avoiding single mixer events, but don't do anything about how they treat men and make them go their own way. Many of these same women complaining about men not showing up would reject those same men they're complaining about not attending. I saw a comment from a woman talking about how those mixers are basically a dust storm because of the men who attend. And then what does that make the women that attend? This is what men are getting tired of. Putting their best foot forward to meet a woman halfway and getting dunked on for it. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, especially when she's insulting you or trying to expose you on social media for clout. It's not worth the headache because at this point, black men know what they're going to get from black women. This is the whole reason the manosphere and this type of content exist in the first place. The reality of these mixers is that a man who is 5 or 4 inches tall knows very well he doesn't stand a chance unless he's very well off, and in that case, a man with money has options out in the wild. The guy who is over 6 tall and handsome has options and need not show up to these mixers. Also, most men get rejected anyway, so it's a complete waste of time unless you fit a certain physical or financial criterion. Men know that the price is way too high to qualify even for the most undesirable and lowest of women. You need unlimited deep pockets to pay for all the kids they got back at their mama's crib. We know that we are just going to end up another notch in the bedpost and then they are right back again at the club. No, we are going stick to the grind and stack those Benjamins until we find what we are looking for. The strong and independent woman vibe sent strong radioactive and electromagnetic signals, which were felt by the men for many miles, warning them to stay the hell away. Isn't it pathetic to see these lovely-looking women interacting with their phones instead of having hearty conversations with real men? What is the point, even as an in-shape, handsome, wealthy young black man? Most of the women there will make you jump through hoops and prove you aren't Pookie just to have a normal conversation with them. It's simply not worth it anymore when there are other options out here that are willing to invest effort, interest, and energy toward us. It's worse than what it actually looks like. You can't take something like this with a grain of salt. It's been years that men have told us that we are not good enough. If nobody is checking for you, how long do you keep trying? If nobody is checking for you, how long do you keep trying? A year, 5 years, 10 years. Men need to be necessary. Nowadays, it seems it's only a man's job who needs them, even though a woman benefits from the job that a man does. They seem to think they don't need the man that does that job. Truck drivers, garbage man, carpenters, plumbers is all necessary and very much needed, but respected by our black women. There are a lot of shame tactics toward black men about not having a life, claiming women are waiting for them to come to meet them while shaming men for not knowing what they want. None see the similarity of how they don't like rejecting a man, resulting in that man responding with anger. Yet the idea of men declining to not attend an event like that is met with shame tactics that are supposed to be received as inviting. When it comes to single mixer events, the sad thing is, if we real, no other race of men is fighting each other to get to black women. The only men who live and truly care about the black woman is the black man. On the other hand, a black man, fairly good-looking, high-income man with good moral character and high social standing and connections, is a very rare commodity on highly sought after by many different women of different cultures, even Asians. It's starting to look like women will have to start approaching men and strike up a conversation for the dating game to be what it once was, because guys aren't trying to approach these disrespectful women just to be embarrassed anymore when most of them are not even worth it. This is why we are seeing more and more of these events. Men don't want to deal with feminists, and nearly all of the women out there are feminists. In the meantime, these men are developing their careers, hobbies, and friendships. Most of these men are not going to be married until they're well into their 30s. Men checked out long ago because we're now beginning to realize that we're the prize, the breadwinners, the heads of marriage. There's just too much competition when men are involved. We've got women competing for our position. That's absolutely fine. Just don't keep crawling back, crying, begging, and pleading for those of us men you threw away by selling yourselves short. We're not jumping to your beck and call, nor are we falling for the theatrical Oscar-type waterwork performances, knowing just how biased and corrupt the law is against us men. Even innocent men were failed by females and the law. We chose to take away the blessing of marriage. We already know from experience that when women are in a group like this, they are not shy about letting you know they don't find you attractive if you hit on them. In fact, even if they do find you attractive but think the other women are not too impressed, they will also publicly shoot you down. If you're not an attractive, outgoing, or extroverted, charismatic man, don't go to these singles events and speed dating. It's a complete waste of your time. The men who end up at these events are probably more interested in a high-class professional woman who sells her services rather than someone they want to make a commitment to. At $500 a head, the men are not going to walk away with a woman who is fat, has kids, or is ugly. They are expecting someone much better than that. Someone who can be of value. Personally, I think what's wrong is that there are still too many men who haven't realized that they have the power to ignore these toxic beings. They still buy into the BS. Fortunately, that number is slowly reducing and women are starting to notice. That's why they're angry. Keep it up, guys. Hitting them where it hurts and the lack of validation is the only way to get ahead. At such events, the majority of normal men are invisible to these women, first off. Second, almost none of us want to have false allegations years from now just for being in the same place as a crazy person. Third, once we get past the hurdles of meeting and finding someone we like to be around, the juice is almost always not worth the squeeze. Which goes to fourth, the only women that go to those events are naive and have never been, which is like 1% of the entire crowd, if that. Or they are the kind of women normal men want to avoid. Here's the truth. The kind of men these women want would never show up at an event like this. For that type of man, getting women has never been a problem. They aren't going to waste their time. They have much better things to do. To them, these women are scrubs and rejects. On the other hand, men who might have shown up at something like this in the past now know these women absolutely don't want, and even despise them. So they also won't waste their time. Even if some men did show up, almost none of them would be stupid enough to get married now. Women don't understand that as a black man walking into a situation like this would be mentally stressful. Imagine going to a singles mixer and getting turned down. How many shots could you take before women be like, "Damn, I'm number 2 on his attempt," and diss him, just so they could say they rejected him? No man would walk into a landmine field like that. Women created this mess. Women really need to understand that they can't always have the upper hand in being in more demand. The way they treat men with disrespect and indifference and still expect the men to put them on a pedestal is why men have stopped going to singles events like this. And this is across all ethnicities. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support, so please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.